and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLM life and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I am talking a little bit about an anti-MLM-esque type of a topic, but it's more so geared towards these Devil Corp companies. So of course, just as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and just my opinions. I'm going to be sharing a horror story from one of you who was the one that asked me if I ever wanted to talk about this, and then I was reminded that I had my own run-in with this company and I completely forgot about it. But it is about a product that is called Fast Wax 1. This product is a waterless wash and wax spray can kind of a thing for cars. The company says that they have been used on racetracks here in the United States. You'll very commonly see them selling these products at gas stations, and the structure is almost an MLM style structure. You recruit people and you build a team, of course, while annoying random strangers at gas stations to buy this product. However, they also sell their product on their own website, along with Amazon, so you can just buy it off of those websites without looking for someone at a gas station who is just going to annoy the living out of you. I will be telling a few different stories. The one is, as I said earlier in this video, from a subscriber, and they sent me some information for other horror stories that I will be going over as well. But before we get into that, I have my own story with this company. When my husband and I first moved in together, very many years ago, we moved into our first apartment, and I went to the gas station that was near our apartment complex. But in case you did not know, in the state of New Jersey, we don't pump our own gas. I've actually been yelled at for trying to pump my own gas in New Jersey. So just keep that in mind, because if you ever see someone with Jersey plates and they look confused, yeah, that's probably why. But I didn't go to the pump. I just parked my car in the parking lot, and I decided that I was going to go inside because I wanted some snacks. And I walk out of my car. Now, before I walked in, let me just backtrack it a little bit. Before I walked in, I saw this tent set up, and I saw the typical nonsense that you see when people are at like Costco or Sam's Club or whatever, and they're basically running after you and bothering you until you go to their booth. Yeah, it was the same concept, but it was outside at a gas station, and they were selling this product. So I was trying to avoid them, and the way that I tried to do that was I tried to go in through the other entrance so that they wouldn't see me. But alas, they caught me when I was walking out. One of them was waiting by the other door. Yes. Creeper alert, stage 5 clinger, as Pauly D would say in Jersey Shore. So this woman was waiting by the door, and of course she was trying to pitch me this product, all of that kind of stuff. And I kept saying, as she was walking with me to my car, I kept saying, I'm really sorry, but I'm not interested. I'm kind of in a rush right now, so I'm really sorry, but I don't have time to hear whatever you're selling. And then her other, I guess you can kind of call them coworkers, decided to come up as well. And I'm not sure if maybe this was her upline. I did see a man that was standing underneath the tent, so I'm assuming that was the really big upline of the, structure. And so her other coworker, whatever, comes up and starts just saying, oh, well, everyone gets a free, what is it? It was like a free trial, not a free trial, but a free like demonstration. That's what it was, a free demonstration on the car. So, okay, like, no, leave me alone. I just want to go home. Like, I'm not here to buy products from you guys. Her friend, coworker, whatever, starts spraying this wax on my car. Now, I knew nothing about this wax. I didn't know if it was okay for my car, because there's a lot of products out there that I would not use on my car. But she just started spraying it and wiping it with whatever she was wiping it with. And I was just like, I could not believe it. The other woman who was walking with me from the door blocks my driver's side door. So I can't even get into my own car. That's how bad it was. So finally, this is how they got a sale out of me. And this was before Beachbody, so this was before I was educated on any of these types of things. I did find it to be a little sketchy, but at that point I was so annoyed, and I just wanted them, I can't even talk because it just makes me mad thinking about it. I just wanted them to get away from me, to leave me alone. So I said, fine, I will buy one of these spray cans from you. I really need to be on my way. You guys need to seriously leave me alone. And so that's how I bought one of these spray cans. I never used it. Never used it. It sat in the garage. I don't even know if we brought it with us to Florida. Probably not. We probably threw it out, but I never used it. So let's move on to this story, this horror story that I got from one of you. This subscriber is from Canada, so as we're going to go through this story, spoiler, you're going to find out that these companies operate the exact same way in other countries across the border. But anyway, let's get into this story. Hi there, big fan. I've watched tons of your videos. Thank you so much. I'm emailing you because there is this new MLM I came across in Canada where I've just moved. I needed a job and found a listing on Google for a position in Sales and Marketing Junior for this company called New Vision Promotions. I got in touch with them and they took me out to one of their events is in quotes, and showed me that they set up booths at gas stations, sometimes Costco and the like, and they regurgitate a memorized pitch, what they call a proven system, and they sell this product called FW1, so Fast Wax 1. It's a spray can of car wax that makes it all shiny and seals your car or paint from rust and corrosion. They said it's sold in the USA at NASCAR tracks, but we're selling them in Canada for cheaper. The demo is pretty mind-blowing, but after actually working with the product myself, I realized it's not that amazing of a product at all. During my 2 days of training and prior to interviews, they hammered that you can move up the company and essentially build yourself a downline. They told me stories of people in the company that make millions, and they told me we would go to like Hawaii and Cancun and the Bahamas, and how my boss met Oprah Winfrey one time in the Bahamas. They said we would go to business-like summits and events like that once I got to the next level within our sector of the company. The way it works is every manager gets to open up his own office, so it's hard to know what the name of the actual head company is, but I found a link that I'll include that explains who actually runs it and stuff. I think it's called Quantum or something. Anyway, I quit without ever making any money because it doesn't align with my morals. But this is a new company and the place is littered with these kinds of opportunities. Right now the market isn't saturated and many people haven't heard of this product yet, so you could say I got in at the right time and could have made money off of this for real. But what will happen when the market gets saturated? I'm feeling really disgusted and I just needed to reach out to someone with a platform in the hopes that my story can help others not get caught up in this stuff, because to be honest, this MLM probably won't be destructive for another few months or maybe even a year. Another thing, they hammered on me that it's a numbers game. I can't miss anyone at the gas station and I must demo to 200 people and 1 out of 10 will say yes. It's a numbers game. Oy. So that makes sense as to why they just demoed on my car without my consent, and why this woman was waiting for me at the entrance, because as this person said, you have to approach 200 people and 1 out of 10 will say yes. Most of the time they're probably going to say yes to get you off, just to leave you alone and to stop harassing you. And I know that that word is a very strong word to use, but in this situation, if you've told someone no multiple times, no means no. But in these MLM companies, or in this case, and I think this is considered a Devil Corp company, in my opinion. But with these, the way that you're taught is no doesn't mean no, it means not right now, which I think is something that they really, really need to change. If you're confused as to what a Devil Corp or Slave Circle type of a company is, I will leave a really great documentary linked below that just goes way more into depth with it. But if you guys would like for me to do my own deep dive into it, let me know. Let's take a look at the Urban Dictionary definition of this term. I know that it's the Urban Dictionary, but let's just take a look at it. Devil Corp is a nickname given to the descendant companies of DS Max. DS Max was arguably the world's largest direct sales firm, but had to change names due to bad press. The reason for the Devil Corp nickname is that many employees feel as though they need to make a deal with the devil in order to succeed. This company is known for its psychological tricks, which are used against their employees in order to keep them selling for as long as possible. DS Max and its descendants have a mountain of bad press, including news reports, government rulings, lawsuits, and video footage showing how they do business. There are also an abundance of complaints from former employees numbering in the thousands. So this is kind of the nickname that a lot of people have given these companies that, I mean, a good example is I went on one of these interviews as well when I was just out of college. So they tend to, I guess you can say, they tend to target the younger crowd, but I have seen the older crowd be part of these companies too. But when I was interviewed for it, it was for a marketing position. So I was excited because, okay, this could possibly be my first real job straight out of college. When I went there though, it was so just sketchy and shady. And there was the receptionist, she told me to wait. I went into the interview, but while I was waiting to go into my interview with the manager, who was very young, who was probably the same age as me, all of the other employees that I saw in that building they were my age. They seemed like they were fresh out of school. So all of a sudden, I hear all of this crazy music playing, everyone's getting pumped and excited and stuff like that. So I think that that is a way for them to kind of, I guess, psychologically put it in your head that this is a fun company to work for, that it's going to be so much fun and all this kind of stuff. I just remembered that Savvy Writes Books made a video about this too. She interviewed someone from one of these companies, so I'm going to leave that link below as well. But now that you have a basic understanding of what this is, I'm going to talk about New Vision Promotions a little bit, because the subscriber that sent me their story talked about, well, they made mention of this in their story. So let's go over New Vision Promotions a little bit. If you take a look at their website, some of the photos on the site that are not stock photos, they just, in my opinion, scream Devil Corp company. That's what I see whenever I look at these pictures that are on their website. Looking at their What We Do website, it says job opportunities, direct sales, and marketing. How we do it: creative instinct, well-trained team, passion, creative team. Moving along to how we do it. And I'm not gonna read all of this, I'll read a little bit, but it says, at New Vision Promotions, we work with well-known firms. With our unique approach to sales and marketing, AKA annoying the shit out of every single person you come in contact with, but I digress. We have met every project's unique business needs. When a client approaches us before proposing a market strategy, we prefer to understand their requirements and create a plan to help them promote their services in the most effective manner. Our experts use innovative strategies while dealing with every client. Our plan includes some of the best locations, strategic timing, and compelling messages based on the client's potential customers. This means that the clients will see faster results and measurable return on investments. Then they have a list of a few things. It says outsourcing made simple, target the right audience, lightning fast services, wide scale attention. Jobs at New Vision. Our team is our greatest asset and forms the foundation of our success. Okay, they're really, really excited about the foundation of our success portion. Anyway, our team is our greatest asset and forms the foundation of our success. Our team makes us stand out in a crowd with their excellent work and dedication. To support this, we try to provide an environment where they can grow and learn, be it offering a supportive coaching environment or on and off-site training. We want to do whatever we can to motivate our team. Hence what I was talking about before, when they have the crazy music playing in the morning, or at least when I was at the particular company that I interviewed at, it was in the morning. So they get pumped for the day. They make it seem like this is so awesome, bro. And that was so cringy. I promise I will never do that again. But A lot of the people that I saw there, no offense to any of these people, but a lot of the people that I saw there were your typical frat bros kind of a thing. Just the way that they were talking and the way that they were interacting with me in the waiting room. And because some of them did come into the waiting room, it was really, really weird. At New Vision Promotions, our primary focus is on the development of ambitious, team-focused individuals. Well, you need to be team focused because that's how you're going to make your money, just like an MLM, just like a pyramid scheme. This attitude has helped us to increase productivity, improve retention, and strengthen the team's overall morale. The Culture tab says, what separates us? When you join our team, you become part of a culture where our people are at the heart of the business. We're proud of the work we do and the people who work with us. As an emerging firm, we endeavor to create a world-class team that dares to think creatively and takes on the challenges that come our way. As a new recruit, you'll have the support and trust of the senior leaders as you grow and develop. When you join us, we will go the extra mile to make you feel comfortable, and these are some of the qualities that set us apart from the rest. At New Vision Promotions, we proudly say that all of our members have retained their positions for years because of our healthy work culture and attractive perks. Let me guess, toxic positivity is what they consider a healthy culture. Okay. We feel that happy people can deliver better performance, and together we cherish this win-win culture. Now that y'all have the gist of New Vision Promotions, I will leave their link in the description box, so in case you want to look into them a little more, by all means, please do. Now I want to move on to some more horror stories that this subscriber sent me that they found. These horror stories are them trying to bring awareness to this alleged scam. I really think it's a scam, but we're just gonna say alleged for the sake of, I don't want to get sued. But the first story says, the truth, it's a scam. If you are located in the US, Canada, Australia, or a few other places, you may have been approached by a salesperson promoting a product from NASCAR called FW1. Typically, they have stands set up outside of franchise gas stations and then spend their day approaching customers pumping gas about buying their product FW1. They are out there promoting FW1, a waterless wash and wax, sponsored by NASCAR. And they will tell you about how easy it is to use, how all racers use it at the track unless they are contractually obligated to another company. If you watch the demo, the stuff is pretty cool and you see it work. However, as many things are, it is never as good as it seems. In the 4 years I was in college, I held a lot of jobs. I was a barista, a program specialist assistant, a manager, a cashier, a bartender, and such forth. After college, I wanted a job where I could put my communication skills to work. So when a company called Clear Mind Events, a marketing company, came up, I jumped. After round of unclear, poorly worded, and confusing interviews, I had the job and no idea what the job was. Come day one, I was that person that approached you at the gas station. Needless to say, my job choices had hit rock bottom. And the public relations position discussed in the interviews but never promised was just bait to reel me in. Unless you are located in the Northern Virginia area, you have probably never heard of Clear Mind Events. Your local FW1 salesperson works out of an office under a different name. In the end, they are all companies working under Quantum. Take this as a clear and fair warning. If you research Quantum Marketing, Clear Mind Events, Fast Wax, or FW1, you are directed to flashy or bulky, poorly worded, indescriptive site. The history and information about the products that I'm providing you is from working for a quantum company and using the products myself. When you work for one of these companies, they gladly provide you with the history, the background, and, well, the inside scoop. They encourage you to write it all down, soak it in, but never let you take notes out of the building. It is rumored that Quantum is owned by Larry Tannenbaum, the man who supposedly invented the Snuggie. Larry supposedly worked somewhere right out of college and learned selling points on which he thought he could sell anything. And as the story goes, Larry could. One day, Larry decided to step up his game and eventually sat down with some bigwigs at Disney. The rumored story goes on to describe a battle between Disney's confidences in Larry's sales abilities. It is said that prior to these meetings, Larry had never sold for any major company, just inventions small-town people had come up with. The rumor also says that Disney had tens of thousands of books they simply could not move. These books were Larry's chance to have one of the largest supporters behind him. Supposedly, Larry sold every last book Disney had sitting in its warehouse storage somewhere for years in a minimal amount of time, and suddenly, Larry had a partnership with Disney that would take him to the top, which is where Quantum falls into place. Quantum is the marketing madman behind a lot of what you interact with today and is rumored to be one of the largest scams. If you've never been approached by an FW salesperson, well then possibly it was DirecTV salesperson in Best Buy or the home remodeling rep in Home Depot. Maybe you have encountered the Chippio team, the DARE program, or the Smart Kid card. All Quantum, all Larry. This person talks about how in an upcoming post they're going to be reviewing some products and of course the different companies and stuff, but then they say, for now, I will simply tell you that the scam rumor that they don't teach you inside of a Quantum office is most likely the one harboring some truth. For now, I will warn you that if you are approached about a job for one of these companies or making a purchase, run as fast as you can the other way. The amazing thing about the company that usually pulls people in is this idea of opportunity and growth within. They pitch this pyramid-style workplace. You start at the bottom and work your way up, get more responsibilities, develop a team, and see no real pay raise. They tell you that in a year or less, you can own your own company. The receptionist is apparently one of the highest paid people in the company and decided to not become an owner herself because her fiance is located near Clearmind Events' office. The recruiter says she once owned her own office but had to step down because she wanted to spend time with her family. She now works 2 jobs to make the bills. The assistant manager, while I was working there, not only had a criminal record but also had a current substance case being produced against him. The rest of the employees fall into one of these 3 categories. A, they have some type of criminal record and cannot get a job elsewhere. B, they are just too incompetent to obtain a job elsewhere. C, they are gullible. I was the third. At Clearmind Events, you make a commission, you work endless hours, and well, your paychecks suck. I would get to the office to start the day by 5 a.m., head out to my event, and arrive by 7 a.m., and would remain there until 3 p.m. or later. If I was lucky, I would get to head back to the office around 3:30 p.m., and then leave the office around 4:30 p.m. However, if you had not hit the office sales goal, you were heading back out and at times not leaving the office to head home until 7 p.m. One week, I worked well over 50 hours and made less than $200, even in my top producing week where I ranked amongst the top 20 sellers in the company. I made less money than I did during a weekend serving. You drive your own car, you are not reimbursed for gas, nor does anyone ever offer you gas money. There is a 90% chance that each day you will be in the car with someone with a criminal record and you will have no idea what their past was. No one respects you, and well, if you have any dignity, you're too ashamed to tell the people you know about what you do. This person keeps bringing up this whole criminal record thing because this is from someone else's point of view. This is their horror story, and I just want to make mention that people do change and people can turn their lives around. So I just want to say that because it seems like they're very fixated on, and I'm not trying to take away from their story, but they're very fixated on that criminal record thing. Are there people that have a criminal record that will never learn their lesson and will be a repeat offender? Yes, there are. But there are also those people who are really, really trying to make it and to change their lives around. There's a number of YouTubers here that have a past. So for example, there's Christina Randall, there's Jessica Kent. I highly recommend watching their videos because they are those people who have turned their lives around. So while I do think that if you do the crime, you need to do the time for it, this person is very, very fixated on that criminal record thing. And maybe the people that they were dealing with that had the criminal record, maybe they were sketchy characters. Maybe they were one of those people that didn't learn their lesson. But I just wanted to say that because I know that just in case if someone comes across this video, I don't want you to feel less than if you have turned your life around. But anyway, let's get back to this story. Oh, and as the cherry on top of it all, Clearmind Events is not accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Rumors say that at other offices, employees made well under the amount they were told they would make. I can attest to this. Rumors also state that these charity programs Quantum runs, such as DARE and Smart Kid Card, only donate about 5% of their earnings to the programs. Of course, this is a very old article because if you look at the update, the most recent update was in 2012. So I do understand that this is an older article. Things have probably changed, but going by their story, along with the story that the subscriber sent to me and my own experience, it seems like nothing has truly changed. And I guess you can say the industry hasn't really changed their tactics. They've probably just become a little more aggressive, especially now that they have social media. They're probably pushing their events even more to their friends and family, so that their friends and family come out to their events, aka standing all day long at a gas station trying to sell this spray can for cars. There is another story that I want to tell. It's very similar to the one that I just went over. Let's get into this story, and it says, "The story I'm about to tell you is a warning to all who are looking for a great opportunity. It's a warning to everyone working awful jobs and are looking for something better. It's a warning to anyone looking for a job involving cars. 2 months ago, a member of my area's car community mentioned this awesome business in which you'll make $600 plus per week and own your own business in just 6 months. He said all I'd be doing is standing outside talking to people and that I'd make tons of money regardless if I'd sell anything or not. Thinking it was too good to be true, I responded to a poorly worded Craigslist ad and applied for their customer service position. The ad claimed I'd be working automotive events, daytime hours, and I'd be pulling $800 per week. To add delicious icing to the cake, they littered the ad with photos of women who lost their clothes and were leaning against rather dated looking stock cars, plus old men caressing trophies. Seems legit, right? It took me nearly 2 weeks to respond back to them after they contacted me, but I was given a next day interview regardless. When I arrived at the location, I parked into a parking lot filled with wrecks on their last legs and a couple brand spanking new economy cars of the most beige proportions. I thought, for a company that supposedly paid so much money, their employees clearly don't spend it on their cars. When I walked inside, this worry was eased as I entered a well-furnished office with 2 very pretty and excited receptionists who set me up in a jiffy. I do want to make mention that, and I'm not trying to critique this article or anything like that, but if you are a person who has a car that's on its last limb and you either 1, don't have money to fix it, 2, don't have money for a new car, or you do have the money but you're deciding to put that money elsewhere, that's really not, in my opinion at least, as long as you can get yourself from point A to point B, it doesn't really matter what car you have. But at the same time, I can kind of see where this person's coming from. And the reason why is because the one job that I had that I talked about how my dream job turned into my worst nightmare, my first job here, well, technically my second job, but before I took over our business and when I was working at an office when we first moved down here, I saw that in the parking lot, every single car in the employee parking lot was, just like this person said, on its last limbs, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have the money to fix your car, there should be no judgment. But when I saw the people who own the business and the people who were managers of the company, they had Porsches. They had, and I mean, I'm talking about a couple of Porsches. So that to me kind of showed me that these people don't pay their employees. Of course, it's your own business, so you deserve to get some kind of money. But as I found out later on, that was exactly the case, that they did not take care of their employees whatsoever. 15 minutes later, I found myself talking to the assistant manager. This rather unprofessional looking fellow explained how I'll be making $35,000 a year just coming into work every day, how I'd be making $900 a week, and how I'll be owning my own business in just 6 months. He said I'll be going around the area promoting breast cancer awareness at car events around the state. He explained every detail down to the letter, so I went ahead and scheduled a second interview. I don't know if this is because of the area that I used to live in Jersey, but $35,000 a year would not cover my bills whatsoever, not even close. So $35,000 a year is really, really low, but maybe this person's in a completely different area than what I was in. Anyway, The second interview took place on the field, which I originally thought was going to be a track, but was actually just a petrol station surrounding the immediate area around the office. Here I was introduced to the guy who would become my leader. He told me that they would come out around noon, sell fast wax, then return around 6. He explained that basically all they do is talk to people and get paid regardless if they sell anything or not. He apparently made $35,000 in just 3 months. It sounded darn easy, so I went straight to the third interview where I talked to the owner. The owner explained to me that I'd actually be making $400 a week plus 25% commission, which was less than what everyone else was talking about, but still much better than my food service job before, so I took the job. The only red flag being that he wanted me to quit my other job on the spot without any notice. If only I knew what I was really getting into. What really happens is that you'll stand at a petrol station for 10 hours under the hot sun, freezing snow, or beating rain, selling car wax off a table. You'll work 6 days a week from 5 in the morning to 7 at night. You'll be making people pay nearly twice of what the product is actually worth. The entire price structure is a total lie. You'll have no energy, you'll have no free time, and kiss your social life goodbye. If you're not good at lying, cheating, and stealing, it will be hard for you to sell more than 10 cans. But no worries, because you make a base rate plus that commission, right? Wrong. In fact, you make the base rate or the commission whatever is higher. Oh, and don't even dare take a day off or come in too late because you'll lose the option for the base rate. Hope you sold a lot this pay period. The worst is the brainwashing. Every morning, the leaders will attempt to fill your head with hopes and dreams of becoming an owner in 6 months or less. How can you become an owner of your own business if there's already an owner for this company? They will play an old conference call once a week. In that call, Larry Tannenbaum will tell you how easy it will be to own your own business. They will try to keep you from quitting by telling you that tough times don't last, but tough people do. They will try to teach you a system that doesn't work. They will force you to be happy. They will tell you how you are not a salesman whatsoever and that sales are only 1% of the business. If I'm not a damn salesman, then why the heck do I have to stand at a Dino juice station for 10 hours a day selling wax? They feed you lies to try to keep you from quitting. They promise high pay to get you in, then promise frequent promotions to keep you in. Then they make you work over 12 hours a day so you don't get much of a chance to find another job so you can quit. Truth is, it will take you on average of 3 years to become an owner, not 6 months. Your checks will be more like $200 to $400 a week and not $600 to $1,000. Oh, and if you don't sell enough cans, you'll be fired. So much for making money, even if you don't sell anything. Don't believe the brainwashing. Stay away from any local business promoting FW1. On the bright side, at least RGS Labs sells a good product. FW1 is actually pretty cool, and they've donated $500,000 to the cause of breast cancer already, if only the distribution were as honest. You know what they say, if your business structure looks like a pyramid, and then it goes ... So what do you guys think of this company? I think that we already have enough horror stories to kind of be able to form our own opinion. And the FW1 product, as I said earlier, is sold on their own website. It's sold on Amazon, but many different marketing firms, and I use that term very loosely in this case because those marketing firms are companies like New Vision Promotions, Quantum, etc. While the company FW1, or the company that sells FW1 itself, doesn't have an MLM structure, it allows its products to be sold through these types of companies that have these unethical business models and unethical business practices. So at the end of the day, if you really truly think about it, if you purchase this product, even though this one person that had their horror story said that it is a good company and that this is a good product in their opinion, the problem is that if you purchase from them, you're only fueling the fire even more, because they're still going to have their people distribute these products at gas stations with these events, and they're not really events. And as you can see from the horror stories that I already talked about, you don't make money, and it's a very stressful and psychologically damaging work environment. As I said earlier in the video, if you guys would be interested in me doing a deep dive into these slave circle devil corp companies, I can definitely do that. But before you guys say that you want that from me, I highly recommend you watching, first of all, Savvy's video, the interview that she did with someone who worked for one of these companies, along with the documentary that I mentioned, because both of those give really, really great insight into these companies, how they operate, and things of that nature. But again, if you guys want me to do that, let me know and I will go ahead and make that video for you guys. But anyway, if you have watched up to here, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye!